Hey everyone, Disappointed Giant here. Welcome to jeez, could I have picked a longer YouTube name? What is that? 5 or 6 syllables? Anyways, we are back with another viewer build. So this was submitted by Mach the Manic, or Mac the Manic, however you pronounce it. Straight to the point. I want to see a run where every affix has biters. So this is there's no confusion here. This is crystal clear. So this run is going to be all biters all the time. So you can see here we're even celebrating with the biter's head. I think this is the Carduce outfit, I want to say, named after Thomas Carduce from Motion Twin. But yeah, this run, there is no confusion here. So all we're doing is we're picking up every item that I can find that has biters on it. We are going to re-roll if we don't have biters. It's wild. It's pretty wild. And it's definitely the opposite of the normal type of affix preferences that I have. So part of it is I don't like biters, right? I feel like I've said this 100 times, and you know, there are a couple of niche uses for biters which we actually do get into in this run, which I think is great. But overall, it's a very disruptive accent. What do you call it? Accent. It's a disruptive affix, right? So when you have that, whatever it is, enemies, I already forget what it's called. Killed enemies drop biters. Biters crawl from the dead, I think is what the affix actually says. If you have that affix, right, whenever you kill an enemy, these little buggos are going to spawn, and they basically are sources of damage over time, right? And the irony, I guess if you want to call it the irony, is that these biters actually do pretty good damage, right? Straight up, biters do pretty good damage. If they come out from a killed enemy and you get someone tagged, you'll notice that the biters will actually stagger the enemy just a little bit. We will see plenty of that as the run continues here. So they'll stagger the enemies a little bit. The damage is actually pretty good. Damage is good. There's no denying that from my opinion. The issue, or the issues that I have with biters, is that they can target enemy attacks, and they can also, because of that like little stagger there, they can disrupt enemy patterns, right? So you might see a Inquisitor, like the enemy that's right at the top of the screen here. There might be biters on a platform, and it will attack the biters, right? You might see other enemies, like the Rampager, one of the Rampagers I just killed, go after the biters or kind of get stuck in there, right? So unless you're playing a very high, in my opinion, right? Unless you're playing a very high speed, kind of like really quick gameplay where you're not spending a lot of time engaging with enemies, you know, think of something like this, like think of like a really fast tactics build, electric whip or something where you're just kind of zipping around. It's not as impactful as if you were to do it with, what do you call it? Tactics, or excuse me, brutality or survival, right? Where you have a little bit more in general, you're engaging with the enemies more, a little bit more closer contact. So biters on affixes, I don't like. I feel like every time I get it, I mention it. I mention it on stream. I mention it in my long plays. So it's just not my vibe. Now here's an asterisk, and it is a very big asterisk. If you purposely build around biters, they kind of rule, right? So I was surprised at how much I like this run. I really got into the look at me, I can't even kill the Inquisitor, that's so funny. I really got into the vibe of, like, you know, obviously spawning biters on purpose. It looks like one of the items, I think I bought throwables because it had biters on it. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was magic missiles. I'm pretty sure that's why I bought throwables. So if you do it on purpose, it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. So that is an asterisk that I'm going to put. It is something that I will remember. I will remember moving forward. I know I've said a couple times, I can't remember one just because I can't remember anything. I talked about how biters in Swarm are good with Hokuto's bow because it does extra damage, and then the mark spreads and the biters will spread, etc., etc. So that's actually pretty good. That's a fun build. So if you do build around that, grab weapons that have biters affixes, grab Swarm, do all that stuff. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. And this run is also not bad at all. So Full disclaimer, so we don't finish the run, but we get through most of the game. So I do end up dying to a curse in High Peak Castle, I think it is. Yeah, I end up dying to a curse in High Peak Castle. So it ain't perfect, but like I said, this run was it was really fun. It was, yeah, there it is. Throwable has biters on it. It was really fun because it's something that I have never done. Like, right, I've grabbed double damage swarm here and there and other stuff, but it wasn't like I purposely was like, hey, let's try to get biters on everything, right? So let's check out the rerolls. I think I'm going to reroll everything a couple times. Yeah, so I think that's it. So it looks like I may... Do I take networking? That's the move. It's got to be the move. Okay. I will reroll things. Looks like I'm going to reroll a couple times, but in general, if something is purple, right? If something's tactics and it has the biter's affix on it, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to buy it. We do find a swarm at some point, which is great. And then we also, what else do we do? There was something else. I think we do get, we do find a Hokuto's bow. So I use a Kudo's bow. I think I throw it in the backpack for a little bit or something like that. But yeah, this was very different. This was very different. And I think that this sort of like, I have another, at the time of this recording, we have one other viewer build on the channel. Someone named Oliver recommended some custom mode wackiness, which was really great. And similar to that run, this run is also just like something I would not have done on my own, right? So I do a bunch of strange things. Sometimes, I'll have builds that don't necessarily fit. I'll do the niche stuff with like whatever it is, face flask, Midas blood, then with a brutality build with size, what do you call it? Gold digger in the backpack and dagger to proffer, like dagger of profit. Dagger to proffer, that's really funny. I'll do stuff like that, but I've never just sat down and been like, hey, I want every single weapon in my build to have biters, right? I want swarm, I want biters, I want everything. I've never done it. So this is one of the beauties, or I should say the beauty of viewer builds, is that, I've had, you all know, I have like 1,500 billion hours in this game, right? I think I've played this game more than any other game I've ever played in my life. And I know a lot. Obviously, I know a lot about the game. I know a lot about statistics. I know a lot about blueprint drop percentages. Like, Swarm is a 1.7% drop from the disgusting worm or whatever. Like, I know these things. But, like, there's still so much about the game that I don't think about, right? I don't think about certain varying things like such as this. And I think that viewer builds are awesome in that perspective, because it's not just like, hey, here's a cool video. Here's a cool video, watch it, click on it, comment, or whatever it is, right? It's not like that. It's more just like, here's a new experience for me, which translates to a new experience for you. And it also opens the door for other people to maybe try something like this out, or to hit me up and suggest another viewer build, right? So kind of like the vibe. Again, if you're watching this in the future, it may not, if you're not watching this in March of 2026, it may not be relevant or whatever, but that's kind of like the vibe right now. Like I put a note, or I should say I talked about in a relatively recent video, like, hey, if anyone has any viewer builds, like, hit me up. Let's talk about it. And I have a good amount. I got like a nice little entourage of viewer builds I kind of got written down. I'm not going to do every single one because a couple of them weren't super viable, but I'm going to do as many as I can. So, long way to say, if you are watching this and you're like, hey man, can you try this weird thing that I've never seen, or that I tried once and was fun? Let me know. Let me know. And as long as it's not like something, I don't want to do fragmentless challenges, right? That's when you don't pick up scroll fragments and you don't pick up any dual stats in your favor, right? So if I were to get a, what is it called? Assassin scroll, I think, or Guardian scroll. There we go. We buy ourselves a Kudo's bow, throw it in the backpack. I think I'm going to grab Wolf Trap here. That would make, oh, maybe not. I wonder if I kept the stun and ice grenade for crowd control, but Wolf Trap does exactly that. So I don't know. I cannot explain my decision there, but I don't like it. I don't really like it. But yeah, so fragment list, a couple people have recommended it. I don't think I want to do it. Basically, you miss out on a lot of scrolls, so end game is just basically, it's miserable, or I should say it looks miserable. So Modesto put out one of those recently. It was a survival fragment list challenge. I think he went into 5EC. I think he went into Dracula with like 25 scrolls or something, and I am prone to another word, confabulation. Is that the right word? I am prone to a little bit of hyperbole and exaggeration at some point when I talk about jokes or whatever it is. I am being 100% serious when I say that fight, first and second phase Dracula, was 10 minutes long because of the lack of scrolls that he has. Oh wow, I took a big hit there. No surprise, right? There we go. We got biters. I think I'm going to switch it out with so there we go. So I take Thunder Shield over the what do you call it? Oh, and we get a curse chest here. What's up? Do I get like a good, I think there's biters on this. I'm pretty sure there's biters on this seismic strike, and I take it. Oh, come on, tell me I take it. Yes, get rid of throwables. What are we doing? Oh, this is so good. I remember this now. This is so good. I think, yeah, I just leave it on the map. I think my goal after this is to take, I think I take throwables, maybe acro, and then I keep seismic strike. So this is it, right? We get a tactics build with a colorless seismic strike that has biters on it. Is there any universe, is there any timeline where I would have recommended that? I would have been like, hey man, you should really try this thing. I did it once and it's way better than E-Whip. Like, no way. Oh God, we're fighting an elite here too. I also think there's an elite down here in the corner, right? So I should teleport out of here, yeah. There is no universe where, oh, and there's another elite? What do we got? We got 3 elites in a row? Dude, this is wild. This is crazy. I want to see what I do here. I think this is a scorpion or something. Yeah, so we get a scorpion there. That's a Malay scorpion. The regular ones I do not think will, and there's one right in the middle. Yeah, that's where I'm going. I don't think regular scorpions, when they come out of the ground, they will come out on those platforms like that, but I'm pretty sure that Malay's ones do. All right, so we got the curse. So anyways, dude, there is no anything, no timeline, no universe, no any situation where I'm gonna be like, hey, here is an OP build, right? V does his top 3 builds, right? There is no planet where I'm like, hey, tactics seismic strike with biters is the build, right? It's not going to change your life, but it's just like, oh my God. So that's like I'm saying about viewer builds, man, this is so sick. It's so sick because we're doing different things. It's so good. It's so good. Look at that necklace. Burning, dodging burns, oil. My God, that's so good. But yeah, so I am not going to do fragmentless. Listen, how proud are you that I actually remembered what I was talking about three minutes ago? This is a milestone. I'm gonna mark my calendar. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so fragmentless, probably not in my future. I feel like it might be something cool to like do and like speed up. Look at this double damage swarm. I brought it into existence. Let's go. It's not something I want to do, right? So if someone's like, if a viewer build is like do fragmentless, I probably will not do that. So I just, oh, brutal. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. But anything else is pretty much fair game. Somebody put a recommended a bill. I think it was just pets, and I feel like that is a cool idea, but it's also similar in the way that like I would have to take brutality, right? So we're looking at Serenade, Maria's cat. Is that it? Are those the only two? I think those are the only two. Oh, and leg hugger. So we'd have to do that, and it would just take a long time. It would take a long time because, you know, Maria's cat takes a bit. Serenade would be really powerful, but it's almost like that's its own. That's like its own thing. And like as I'm talking about this, that might actually be viable, right? So let's think about it. So if we were to take Serenade, which is a pet, but it's also its own weapon, I could use that as a primary, right? So I could switch that thing out while Leg Hugger or Maria's cat does some damage. So there we go. So I might talk myself out of that. So whoever, am I going to switch this for the shield? Let's get the shield out of here. Let's do it. Boom. So whoever recommended that, I might do that at some point. There you go. We talk it out. We talk it out, right? But yeah, fragmentless, probably a no-go. And again, that Modesto fight. Modesto is, if you know him, he is incredibly talented. Dude shreds. His fights were good. They were pretty clean. But like 10 minutes on Dracula, like I don't want to spend 10 seconds on Dracula. Like I'm good. I'm good, right? Boom. Scarecrow sickles. Biters. Okay, so right now, 4 out of our 5 items have biters, right? So we got biters on the colorless seismic strike. We got biters. Here we go. Biters on throwable. Biters on swarm. Obviously biters. Swarm is biters. And I think I roll Hakuto a couple times. I don't know if biters is actually an affix that you can get on that. I should take aggro at this point, right? Yeah. I don't know if biters is an affix you can get on it. I'm kind of surprised that I didn't. I think I roll it a couple more times. I'm kind of surprised because biters, I feel like it's everywhere where you don't want it. And what do we got? Is there biters on this thing? There is not. So you can see there I paused for a second because I was reading it. And if it had biters, I probably would have taken it. I might have left it. If I were doing this now and that had biters, I would have left it for the end of the level. So I would have gone through here with seismic and then picked up Hayabusa again, just to kind of make it different. But viewer builds rule. Viewer builds rule. So if you have any other ideas, like I was saying a couple minutes ago or a few minutes ago, whatever, if you got a cool idea for a build or you want to see something different, as long as it's viable, right? And yes, fragmentless is viable, but like that's just not fun, right? So let's say viable and fun. Let's say viable and interesting, viable and new, right? Or even something that's like kind of funny, right? So if there's like a funny viewer build, even if it doesn't make it through the whole run, like that might be cool too. So let me know. Hit me up here. Leave a comment on any of my videos. You know, hit me up on Discord, whatever, and I'll throw it on the list. But yeah, viewer builds are dope. So again, I don't know if it's Mach or Mach or however you pronounce your name, but thank you again for the suggestion here. This ruled. And let's talk about the build outside of biters, right? So what do we got going for us here? So the first mutation that I picked up networking. Networking is, I don't want to say it's sneaky good, it's just good. Networking is very good, right? So what you'll see is when I hit an enemy with a ranged attack, so at this point it's just going to be throwables, or if they get hit with the Hakutos out of the backpack, you're going to see a little blue icon above the enemy's head, and it may be a little difficult to see because we do have other things that are, you know, other icons on top. Like you can see there, seismic strike does root. Oh, it feels so good. Feels so good to get the upper hand on a slammer like that. But whenever I hit, it almost looks like a little blue skull, right? So I think maybe after we switch away from seismic strike, if we do, you'll be able to see it better. But anyways, regardless of that, what it does is it will link enemies. So if you hit something with a ranged attack, right? Could be anything. Could be the magic missiles that I had. Could be Hakuto's bow. Could be throwables. It doesn't matter. Any ranged attack. Oh, here we go. Do I take Tesla? I might take this over Sickles. Because I'm starting to like think ahead. We're like, yeah, okay. So Sickles is great, but I'm also thinking like I might want to take support to ramp the damage up. I feel like might be the vibe here. So we'll see. Oh no, we'll see. But what was I even talking about? Networking. So networking is super good. There you go. You can see like a little bit of lightning between the enemies. So what happens is they share a certain percentage of damage. So I don't know exactly what. Oh my god, that was bad. That was bad, but I think we might have good food on the map. Maybe not. So they share a percentage. They share a percentage of damage, right? So that is a really good way to kind of like run through levels, tag enemies, and just get that damage. I think it starts at like 40, maybe 40% or something like that. And then it only gets more, the number only goes up, of course, as you pump more tactics scrolls into your build. So it's very good. It's very good. So I chose that one because throwable objects pierces, right? So you'll see when I hit an enemy with it, it will also go through. So we're instantly getting networking if there's another enemy behind it. I think magic miss and anything that pierces is going to go right through. But it's very good with pretty much anything. I think I consider crows here, but I choose not to because it's too much brain power for this run. Crows is also fantastic. Wings of the Crow is also fantastic. But yeah, networking is very good in general, but if you take it with something like electric whip, good luck. Good luck to anything that stands in your way. That is such an amazing combo, because since E-Whip spreads its damage around enemies, it'll not only share the damage from the E-Whip itself, but you'll also get networking damage, so it's pretty wild. So that's the first mutation that I chose. Part of the reason why I chose it, in addition to it just being good, is that the biters are going to be doing a bunch of damage, bunch of little DOT. Like I said, the damage is pretty good. They're going to be doing a bunch of damage here. So having networking where that damage gets shared is fantastic. Fantastic. And it looks like we're going into Cursed Ramparts. Man, my my tolerance for cursed biomes, and I think I'm going to roll maybe 1 or 2 more times on the Hokuto's bow, if I'm remembering. Yeah, maybe not. My tolerance and acceptance for both cursed biomes and for fractured shrines and for cursed fractured shrines has completely, I got really good tolerance for it, to the point where like I'll actually seek them out. So I might be turning a corner here. I don't know. I've a lot of folks know that I've been a distillery apologist, and I have been a fractured shrines detractor, right? Detracted shrines. I have not been a big fan of it, but I'm coming around. I'm coming around here. So I take Cursed Ramparts, right? So we take Cursed Ramparts. I chose to take Damned Vigor with me. Damned Vigor is fantastic. It'll save you from any death, including a cursed death, and if you don't get hit again in 2 seconds and you kill an enemy, you come back. So cursed biomes with Damned Vigor, I would say it's not necessary per se, but it is recommended, and it can absolutely 100% change the course of your run to make it around the corner, turn the corner, and have a, you get tagged and you think your run's over, and then it's not. And then it's not. It's great. It's so great. And then, of course, the second mutation I took, we got Acrobata Pack, so I got Hokuto's bow in the backpack. Again, networking, sharing, there it is. You can see that blue lightning bolt between the two. So networking, we share damage between enemies. We have Hokuto's bow to amp up damage on enemies, because whenever an enemy is marked with Hokuto's, it takes a certain amount of damage for a little bit, and then when that enemy is killed, you will see a like an area of effect where other enemies get marked. It's sort of it's slightly reminiscent of Artemis in Hades. There is it Hunter's Mark, I think, where an enemy will get marked, you can do more damage. Oh, we get rid of the Seismic Strike. That's unfortunate. I think we take Boomerang because it synergizes better with Acro and with networking, because it pierces enemies. But it's similar like Hunter's Mark in Hades, I would say, where, that boon, if you're not familiar with it, you get different, instead of different items, you get boons, which basically amp up they're almost like crazy affixes. And one of them is if, with this Hunter's Mark boon, if you do damage, critical damage to an enemy, another enemy gets marked, and then you can, if you hit that enemy, there's a better chance for critical, etc. So it's a little bit more RNG dependent, but it's similar to Hokuto's bow, right? An enemy gets, you could just see that big red, kind of like that red splash. That was Hokuto. So you get a better chance of doing extra damage. So super good, right? So we have all 3 of those things are talking. Am I going to do... Is this flask time? I don't have enough for a flask. No way. So all 3 of these mutations the networking, Hokuto's, Boomerang, all of the items and the first 2 mutations are all talking, right? So here's how we're locking in. So obviously synergies are super important. Having items that go well together are super important, but this is like we have like 3 or 4 things I think that are all interlocked, right? So again, we got networking. It's another curse chest. Yeah, beautiful. Am I not taking it? Oh, I think I might want to look. I think I might want to look just to make sure that there aren't a lot of other enemies. I think Explorers is going to pop maybe after I go through a little bit more over here, or maybe I'm just checking it out first. But everything's talking. Boomerang pierces, right? Throwables pierces. Networking is for anything that gets marked with range. Acrobata Pack is shooting my Hakuto's bow, which does extra damage. So even without any synergy per se with affixes, the way that these items talk together is great. Is great. So like I was saying, synergies are obviously important, but then there's non-affix synergies. What am I doing here? Am I just chilling? Is this something I should have edited out? Let me see. How long am I going to stand here? Oh, this is really funny. We're just going to vibe. I'm just going to keep talking here. Outside of affix synergy, there's item synergy. So like everything I explained there, right? So I made a joke earlier about all the builds I'll take, and I will take Gold Digger in the backpack. So when I roll through an enemy, I will get gold. I will have Dagger of Profit as my main item, so therefore I will benefit from the criticals from that item because I will be getting gold from the Gold Digger. So stuff like that, you know, where the items do talk to each other, even if there isn't like, I don't know, plus 100% to burning oil, and this burns and this does that or whatever, right? So in general, it's a really good build. I like this. I'm very stoked. I'm very stoked about this build. And we got a curse. So that's another thing about curse biome. So when you go into a curse biome, I think the percentage of an extra curse is 10%, maybe. I think it's 10%. So in addition to, as you can see here, I just got cursed from, I think it was a sore loser, maybe. And we got our 60 as we get cursed. That was great. So in addition to just getting randomly cursed like I did, you also have a chance to get purposely cursed too. So that's another thing to keep an eye out for. It's another thing to worry about. Yeah, that's great. So I think, yeah, so I'm going to get rid of the burning affix on that necklace because it only had one tactics, and we're looking to get as many scrolls, of course, as many scrolls on our amulet as we can. So that one had two. So we're gonna roll with that. But yeah, even if, you know, like I was just saying, it doesn't have all these extra affixes, like stuff like that's cool. So think about that too. Again, when we put a build together and we're re-rolling things, we're thinking about those synergies, right? We're thinking like, okay, I have Cleaver, and then I have a Balance Blade that does plus 60% to bleeding. Great, you know, or like I have Alchemic Carbine, and I have a Colorless Seismic Strike that does 80% to poison or whatever, right? So we're thinking about that, but also, you know, like I was just saying, we're also thinking about the way it makes a victim bleed. That's actually really funny. Just thinking about how the actual items are interlocked, right? Because you can have a good build with pretty much anything. Again, you know, Fragmentless, I know I've said this like 3 times. Maybe not. Maybe not. But in general, you know, even if you don't have a bunch of synergy as far as status effects and, you know, bonus damage, like you can still throw together a good build. So, all right. So we made it. We made it through a cursed ramparts almost. So there's one more group of enemies on the right here. I don't know if anything happens. I can't remember which boss I went to. So similar to some of the other videos that I've put out, I haven't reviewed the footage, right? So all I did, I finished, or I didn't finish the run. I completed the run to the best of my ability. I put the footage in iMovie, and then I just scanned it to cut out the transitions between biomes. That way we could save, you know, a few seconds here and there on loading screens. But that's it. So I don't, outside of the death, I really don't remember my path as much. I do remember something else that happens as far as item acquisitions, but there's a lot of stuff I don't remember. So similar to you, this is not the first time I've seen this, but it is the first time I've watched it in its entirety. So there we go. And as I've said like a billion times, it's like, I don't know what happens. Let's figure it out together, right? Let's figure it out together. So I think I'm going to go Concierge here. Maybe I'm thinking twice about it. I don't know if I just came here to recycle something or what. I feel like for me, this is more of a Concierge build than a Conjunct build. So that way we can keep our distance, throw down. Yeah, I think that's it. We'll throw down our swarm. We will use the boomerang, get Tesla coil, do whatever. And then from there, you know, we'll move on. I think going into Conjunct, Similar to how I was saying earlier, going into Conjunctivius with biters is probably not the best move, right? What do we got? Anything good in here? Yeah, Anathema. No thanks. Anathema, Anathema, however you pronounce it. No thanks, I'm good. Having biters in the conjunct fight, probably not the best. Probably not the best. Am I going to re-roll this one more time? Yeah, so we can see here, I've already re-rolled Hakutos 4 or 5 times. No biters. So I'm thinking about changing that out at some point, just so I can have a 5th item slot that does have biters on it. But like I was saying earlier, biters can attract enemies. They can change the patterns of enemy attacks and stuff like that. So with biters on the ground, I feel like Conjunct's tentacles will end up kind of coming out and causing more of a problem. So I decided to go this route against Concierge. I vaguely remember taking a couple of huge hits, but I can't remember. Of course, big surprise, I can't remember if it was this run or another one. But damage is pretty decent. Damage isn't bad, right? So what I did not do is... There we go. We got ourselves a flawless. Let's go. I did not re-roll my mutations because I'm down a flask and I didn't want to spend the 3,000, right? Because we're looking at 1,000 for the first roll and then 2,000 for the second. I didn't want to spend the 3,000 bucks to just end up similar to where I am here. So I saved the money. Could have been better if I took Tranquility, right? Buff all that damage. What do we got? What do we got? Anything good? No. Not. I like Corrosive Cloud, but not for this build. Could have taken Tranquility to buff all of that biters damage from being far enough away from Concierge. I think it's like 5 or 6 tiles. We could have been far enough for that. I also could have taken support for extra damage from the Tesla coil. So like we had some options. We had some options here. And I think I'm going to do networking. Wish. Am I taking Wish? I think I take Wish. I'm trying to find it. Let's do it. Okay. Hell yeah. Big surprise on what I'm at. And here we go. I'm going into Fractured Shrines, right? Like I was saying, boom. I'm just open to it at these days, right? Maybe my mind is so fragile at this point that I just forgot that I don't like Fractured Shrines. Maybe that's just it, right? Maybe that's just it. But again, with the Concierge fight, I could have taken different mutations. It worked out okay. But you can see I don't think we have, similar like what I was just saying, I don't think there's a lot of bonus damage synergy, and we could have taken 2 mutations that would have ramped our damage up. Probably like 60-70% at this point, whatever it was. But we did it. We made it through. I'm already getting knocked around. Here. It's pretty wild. But so in shrines, right? So as you can see here, if you haven't been here before, it's a little hectic, right? We have these crows flying everywhere. There are spike traps like the ones that we just saw there. There are buzzsaw traps like the one that we just saw there. So there's those things are like all over the place. And then there's also these traps. Like if you see like that wooden log, if you stand on, I might actually trigger it here. Yeah, if you stand on that, the log will go flying. If it hits you, it does damage. If you hit an enemy, it will do damage. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. And there is a guaranteed curse chest in the first chest room on the path. So this is always 100%. This is always a curse chest. So what I do and what I recommend doing, in addition, like I was saying, take Damn Vigor. It rules. But in addition to maybe thinking about Damn Vigor coming in here, I like to go to the first teleporter, right? So there's no teleporter near the curse chest, and that's by design, right? They want to make this, Evil Empire wanted to make this as difficult as possible for you. So that way you can't just like take a teleporter across the biome and do this. So like they want you to go through the trap room, and they want you to experience whatever ends up coming this way, right? So this curse, I think this curse might get a little hairy. So I don't love the Inquisitor over there. I don't love the cold-blooded Guardian who's going to throw his javelin at me. So it looks like at this point I'm in like a little bit of panic mode. I think I might just try to take that. Yeah, we have the bomber coming down. So slightly hectic curse, but not too bad. But like I was saying, I go ahead, I clear everything out as much as I can before I come back to finish the curse, right? So I want to get to that first teleporter. That way I have some space. I can come in here and look at Biter's doing pretty good damage. Doing pretty good damage, right? Another bonus of Fractured Shrines is there's always this shrine with legendary items. You always get 3 items in there. They do not come from the entire randomness of the weapon pool, meaning if you have things that you have not unlocked, I think I'm going to use Wish on this Swarm. I think I use this. All right, let me think. I'm going to use Wish, and then I'm going to pick the other Swarm up over the Tesla Coil, and now we have double Swarm. Friends, we have just witnessed Dead Cells history. I think I am the only person in the entirety of Dead Cells' history to use Wish on Swarm. Hit me up if not, but I have a feeling that's not something that people do. Oh man, that's crazy. But yeah, look at that. That's like really good damage. Look, I'm not even doing anything, and these biters are just taking these things out. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, you want to go ahead, you want to clear out some of the enemies, so that way when you take that curse, you know what you're facing. You can say, okay, well, I triggered these log traps. I know where the spike traps are. If I stay on the bottom path or the top path, it's the safest or whatever it is. So you definitely want to do that when you come in here. Fractured Shrines to me is like look at this, just destroying that dude. Destroying it. Beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. Fractured Shrines to me is like the distant cousin or like distant sibling of the Derelict Distillery, because both of them are really dangerous. Both of them have traps everywhere, but the traps here are different. And somebody, was it Kaler? I don't remember who it was. Somebody was talking about the difference between Shrines and Distillery is, even though the Distillery traps are like static, they're set up in a way that like purposely is going to knock you around and make things incredibly difficult, right? So these traps are here, but they're more fluid, right? You can be like, okay, like right here, I'm going to watch out for that spike thing. I'm going to watch out for this bird. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So it's a little bit more manageable, handleable, maybe, however you want to say it. I still love Distillery, but you know, they're kind of like two sides of a similar coin where they're both super dangerous. The benefits of coming here are better for sure than Distillery. I think I might take this for the jump. Maybe not. The benefits of coming here are for sure better than Distillery, right? So the only thing that Distillery offers, if we're being honest, the only thing it offers besides Hand of the what do you call it? Hand of the Castle, the High Peak Castle, is the possibility to get the Tesla Coil Blueprint and the opportunity to go to the Servants fight. So if you want to fight Servants and you did not take the Shipwreck, right? I almost called it Forgotten Shipwreck, the Infested Shipwreck. If you didn't take that, you can take Distillery, and then you can hit up the Lighthouse after that. So that's great. But as far as at that point in the game, right, at that tier level or whatever, it has the same amount of scrolls as High Peak Castle. It has the same amount of scroll fragments, if I'm remembering correctly. So if you're looking for a tangible benefit, let me see, do I pick anything up here? I think I poke around. Let's see. I'm thinking about putting this in the backpack, but then I would need to use Armadillo Pack. I don't think I take it, or maybe I take it over throwables. We'll see. There's obviously a lot of deliberation here, right? But the benefits of taking Distillery are not, it's not really worth it, right? It's not really worth it. Again, this is coming as from an apologist who genuinely loves that level. It's really good. But the difference here, so when Shrines comes in, again, they're sort of similar in the way where there's traps everywhere. It's super dangerous, etc. With Shrines, though, you're taking this after the first boss, right? So you're taking it after, you can't get here from Conjunct, but you take it after Concierge, and you can take it after Mamatic. It's early enough in the run, right? So I feel like if you get to this point in a run, you should probably have like an okay build, right? Because we've made it through Prisoner's Quarters. You've made it through at least 2 other levels, maybe 3 if you choose to go to Corrupted Prison or Prison Depths. And you've made it through a first boss. So your build should at least be online enough where you are not still necessarily looking for pieces to make it viable. In my opinion, at that point, you know, if you're getting past the first boss, you already get something. You already got something locked in. But the opportunity to get a guaranteed legendary in this level could completely change the trajectory of your run. Could completely change the trajectory of your run, right? So I did a wish video where I took machete pistol. It was insane. You might find something like that. You could find a legendary ice armor. Like, there are so many little things that you could pick up. Well, legendaries aren't little, but you know what I'm saying. You could find something in here that's going to change the rest of your run, right? Distillery, the only way distillery is going to change the rest of your run is you're going to run out of flasks. I mean, let's be honest. That's basically the only way distillery is going to change your run. It's going to stress you out. You're going to run out of flasks, or the run's going to be over, right? But at least here, you do have an opportunity to, you know, take a little bit of a curveball, see what happens, see how it goes. So, strength-wise, I think Shrines is oh man, I can't believe I'm talking about this. Kyler's going to be like losing. Oh my God, this is so funny. From a benefits perspective, Shrines is definitely a better choice to take than Distillery. Am I ashamed? I feel like I'm in like one of those therapy sessions where like you realize something and then you're talking and you're just like, oh my God, like what am I saying? Like, I'm admitting this. I am admitting this to another person. I'm admitting this to probably thousands of people at this point. All right. But anyways, huge risk, decent chance for a good reward, right? So just keep that in mind. But again, as far as this tier of biomes, right? Because what else are we looking at here? We got Shrines, we have Stilt Village, we have Graveyard, and I think Slumbering Sanctuary are the 4 biomes that are all parallel. They're all parallel here. So I think this one is the most risky out of all of them. But I don't know. Like I said, sometimes a guaranteed legendary, you know, like I said, your build should be pretty much buttoned up at this point. But you know, a little bit of a change can't hurt. Am I going to go back for that food? Yeah, I was like, you should go back for that food. And speaking of risk reward, even though we recycled the legendary, we didn't get any good legendaries or something that would fit the build here. We got our 60. So we're moving in. I think, I don't think I go. Yeah, I was like, I don't go. Where do you call it? Undying Shores. I don't want to fight. What's his name? What's the name of that biome? Who's that guy? I don't want to fight Scarecrow. So take another look here. Nothing with biters. I would have entertained the idea of a tentacle if it had biters on it, but it didn't. So we're gonna rock. So as you can see here, my gold is done pretty much. It looks like I rolled the double damage off of Swarm at some point. My gold is pretty much toast. We have 1,380. At this point in the run, I usually have amassed 20,000, 30,000, whatever it is. You got to remember, we bought some stuff in the shops. We've been re-rolling that Kudos bow with no benefit to it. What else did I do? I bought a potion, right? So there's a lot of stuff there that we've spent money on. So as far as, see, good thing I didn't take that curse, huh? As far as money goes, we're at a deficit compared to where I usually am and where I usually like to be, which is fine, right? Which is fine. So again, the purpose of this run was not to blow everybody away. I take this Star Fury. I 100% put this in the backpack. It has biters on it. Yep. I remember getting this and being like, hell yes, right? So we are 5 for 5 now, right? So we have biters on our 2 main weapons. We have biters on our backpack weapon, and we have a legendary and a regular Swarm. This is insane. And again, this is a fun run, and this build rules. This build rules, dude. This is so much fun. It's so much fun. Even if I could take something, I would wait here because we don't have, it could be mimicked. We don't know. So I didn't grab that. And I'm cursed, right? So we took our first, this might be the first and only, I'm just going to fix this real quick. I think this is our first and only curse in this biome. But what's great, I love Sepulcher in general, but what's great about this is that on 3BC, there is a 3BC door that always has enemies in it. When we're on 4BC, there is also a 4BC door, so if you get cursed, you have 2 other rooms to come into, and this is what I was talking about with the Inquisitor. I got lucky. I got lucky with my maneuvering there, getting into, getting away from that curse, because the Inquisitor was targeting some biters, right? So that could have gone awry pretty quickly. But when you're cursed, like I've said this before, and I feel bad. I feel like I repeat myself so much here. I think the goal, let me finish my thought first. So when you have a curse, I would, even in general, I'd say save. If you're playing on 3 and or 4 BC, save those doors until the end, just in case. You might get a random curse, you might get tagged if it's a curse biome, etc. So having those 2 doors with enemies in it will guarantee you will at least have enough enemies to clear the curse. Even if you're double cursed, you should be fighting more than 20 enemies between the 2 doors there. So we all know that I repeat myself a lot, right? So I will give the same advice in like 4 videos or whatever it is, and I feel like it's one of those things where like people who have heard it, like what did I say? Repetition is the way to mastery, or I forget how I phrased it. But basically, like the more someone hears something, I feel like the more it sticks in. And there might be a chance where, like, if maybe you watch 2 or 3 videos where I say that thing about the doors and the Sepulcher, and then one time you're playing and you're like, oh, I remember this thing, right? And maybe it's helpful. Maybe it saves your run. Who knows? Maybe you go in there and there's an elite and you immediately get tossed. I have no idea, right? But then there's also the opportunity, or not the opportunity, but there's a possibility that you have never heard of this channel before, right? Maybe you just started playing Dead Cells a week ago and you're doing some digging around and you're finding V videos and other stuff and whoever it is, and you come across here and you've never heard this, right? So maybe that's helpful for the new viewer, and maybe it's helpful for the repetition for the old, not the old viewers, the previous, or our current viewer base, or whatever it is, right? So there is a part of me that gets a little bit self-conscious where I keep saying the same stuff over and over again, but hey, maybe it's helpful, right? Maybe it's helpful. Maybe if I say things 1,000 times, I'll stop saying them, and maybe it'll be, maybe you guys will be like, all right, dude, I know you've said this. You've said this a billion times. But anyways, that's a vibe. That's a vibe for the Sepulcher. So if you can, keep those doors on the map, or keep them unentered until you're positive that there's no more curses. I say unentered because once you go in the doors, no biters are us. I wouldn't have taken it anyways. We're not taking any skills because we got double biters here. Once you enter a door, so even if you don't actually network and doing work there, how sick is that? Even if you do not actually clear the room out, or if you just go in there and you just poke your head in and come back, the door icon on the map is going to be it's going to be darkened out. So you can look on the map. We saw it with shrines. You'll see it a little. If you go backwards, you'll see a little bit here. The map will show doors that have not been entered by being more of like a full bold color, right? But once you go in a door, it becomes gray. So it's easy to miss, right? So again, you might just poke your head in and be like, all right, I'm going to come back. And then when you do your map scan, it might not register because it's dark, right? Food for thought. Food for thought. But yeah, how's this? The Sepulcher's been going good. This has been going good. We got 107 kills. So this is the second, at least the second biome in a row. So we got a flawless Concierge, which is, decent, right? I feel like that's not going to shake the earth, right? I don't think anyone's going to be super surprised about that. But getting a 60 door in shrines with an entire build full of biters that's sick. That's sick, right? That's really sick. So at this point in the build, I'm aware of where I want to take it, right? So I'm going to keep, what am I going to keep? I have to keep Wish. I absolutely have to keep Wish. I have no choice. I have no choice there. Once you use it, similar to YOLO, once you use it, it locks a slot, right? YOLO locks a slot completely forever. But if you don't use Wish, you can take it off. But once you use it, it's done. You can see it all the way on the right. It's grayed out. It's there. I can't do anything else with it, right? I can't do anything else. And I think I'm going to go do a little recycling here, and then if I know myself, I'm going to go into the door. Let's take a look here. See how that door, I know it was really quick, that door had full color. That's how we know I haven't gone in there yet. But I know where we're going with this. So as soon as I picked up that Star Fury, I was like, we're doing Porky Pack. We're doing Star Fury in the backpack. We're doing Porcupack. Let's keep this build just completely different, completely different here. So we're gonna roll with that. We're literally we are literally gonna roll with Porcupack, and I don't think any of these shops are mimicked. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why I keep poking around. I think maybe I'm coming back to, was there food or something? Yeah, there was one more enemy. I don't know why I did that. I could have just bounced. Especially here. You can see the darkness is encroaching. I'm having trouble climbing up walls. There we go. And I might look in here for a higher quality swarm. Oh yeah, we got a couple of them here. I wonder if I pause to check my affixes first before I buy anything. Oh, and that's it. We get ourselves a mimic. We get ourselves a mimicked swarm, right? So here we go. So this is we get a level 12 swarm. That's hysterical. This is definitely, it has to be a first in Dead Cells history where somebody uses Wish on a swarm and then gets mimicked for a second swarm. It has to be. There's no way. There is no way anybody has done that before, right? Out of control. And again, sort of like going back to one of the things that I said earlier, like viewer builds rule. Viewer builds rule. It just keeps me on my toes. I should go Clockroom here. I should not go Giant. Right? Yeah, because that's the move. So since Giant's not on the ground at all, biters aren't going to do, it's not going to do much. So we're gonna roll with Timekeeper here. Again, I don't remember how this fight went. Couldn't tell you, but as always, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out together. So biters. Beautiful. I should roll this for poison, because we got poison on the legendary one. No, I don't. So what I should have done there is I should have re-rolled the non-legendary swarm to get plus 80% to poison. So the legendary swarm poisons enemies just in general. Am I going to take this as a main? Maybe not. The legendary swarm will poison enemies, and if I got plus bonus to poison on the other swarm, it would have just done even more damage. I apologize. I actually haven't looked at my affixes. But look at this. Look at this literal swarm of biters. So like, this is funny. That's so funny to me. I find that very humorous. I think, again, I might take some couple of big hits here. So the damage isn't wild, but it's good. That damage is quite good. We're just looking at, and it's one of those things too, where if you were not looking at the screen, right? So if you weren't looking down at my outfit, you weren't looking down at all the biters and stuff, and you just looked at Timekeeper's health bar, you'd be like, oh, that's good dot. Like, what is that? Poison? What is that? Shock, right? You wouldn't know it was biters. You would be in shock that it wasn't shock damage, right? So we took a couple hits there, so no flawless, but fight was pretty good. And obviously we're gonna recycle all of this stuff there. No biters. We're not taking any additional skills, and we're not going to Dracula's castle, no way. So we're gonna go to High Peak. So I think I may re-roll my mutations here, or actually no, I don't. I definitely don't, because like I said, I die to a curse here in the High Peak castle. Let's see if I hesitate. Do I hesitate going into this biome? Look at that. No hesitation. I did not know it was cursed. I don't think I looked at the map. No hesitation, right? So what do we got here? We got 3 minutes left. Okay, so the run is almost coming to a close. I remember when I took this death, I was super bummed because this, like I've been saying, this run's been really fun. It's been like a nice gateway into another. Oh, we got the biters on the Sonic Carbine. Oh, I decided not to take it. I think the throwables we have are also from, those are from like the first level or something, right? Not taking it for damage, but we are taking it for the capability to stun enemies here. But unfortunately, the run's coming to a close. And I remember when I took that hit, it's from a spike trap in one of the, I think it's just in one of the boss rooms or whatever. I was super bummed. And I thought to myself, oh, we got another curse chest in here too. I think that might be the one that does me in. What are we looking at for time? 2 minutes. This could be it. But I was really bummed. Because this run was a hoot. This run was out of control fun, and I was originally gonna be like, well, let me redo it, right? Let me do another one. Let's see if we can get a full win, but just based on like the variables here, right? We got the mimic. We got a mimic swarm. We got a colorless seismic strike that we used on a tactics build for a little bit, right? So completely unconventional. So I chose not to re-record it. So like I said, unfortunately, we're going to be coming to a close here. I guess I might get cursed by another enemy. Yeah, I think I get cursed by one of these little guys, maybe, or something. I can't particularly recall, but we're coming close. We're coming close to the end of the video, unfortunately. So I'll say my thanks now. So thanks again to Mach or Mach, however you pronounce it. Thanks again for the viewer suggestion. This was dope. This was so dope. I really enjoyed it. I love it. Like I said, your suggestion was so succinct, right to the point. There was no room for interpretation there. So we have 5 out of 5. 100% of our build is either biters or spawns biters. So like we did the thing, man. So that was fantastic. So again, thanks for the build suggestion. We're gonna be doing more of these as time goes on. We're gonna be doing some more viewer builds. So again, if you have any cool ideas, hit me up, let me know. Shoot a message on Discord, leave a message here. And this is it. That spike trap is the one that does me in. So I think we get down to 2 and then I just get tagged. So there we go. So that was a fun run. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Again, hopefully it's like something a little bit different than normal. But again, thanks for watching. Thank you for your time. I really hope this was fun for you. Hope you learned something, did something new. Yeah, I appreciate you. Okay. So as always, thanks for watching and good luck out there.